don't even care. I'm starting this now while I'm trying to call him.
Hold on, John's texting me.
Yeah, I know. Tell him we finally got it to work. Dude, what the heck?
So we're on now, right?
Yeah, we're on. I just need to do one last thing. I want to make sure it's fucking on. It's got to be on because I posted the same fucking stream. All right. Come on. God damn it, YouTube.
It's on. I got the notification. It's on.
Fucking Christ. Well, still.
It's on. I got the notification.
Mom, what the fuck? What are you doing? Why did you text me this? Literally 3 minutes ago, too. I can't get it right now, Mom. Stop. Fuck. Alright.
Alright, so we just start this thing now? I don't even know, like, how much we've gotten.
Finally got it to work. Here's the stupid link.
So, I guess we can officially say...
This is a fail. This is definitely a fail, but at least we got it finally started.
Can we say fuck OBS and
Well, it wasn't OBS that was the problem, dude. By the end of it.
Yeah.
Why did you have the shit on private? How did it get on private?
I don't know. I didn't put it on private.
God damn it.
Maybe I did.
I think I know why they need me to get the plate, because I hear the cats trying to go after it. Alright. Start talking. Introduce yourself. You're not going to be able to see him, but you'll be able to hear him, guys. I'll be right back, Owen.
So, yeah, that happened.
Yeah, it did.
So,
but we're here.
Don't trust Owen Finch with technology, I guess, apparently.
Oh my god. Dude, it would have been so much easier if you'd have told me the shit was not on fucking private.
You were on the channel too.
I was on the channel, but dude, I wasn't gonna go on to the freaking privacy settings and think the shit was on private.
Oh, I see.
I don't know how it got to that point.
Yeah, but
anyway, regardless, we're on. Finally.
So we're here to give you guys the Retro Wrestling Review Series for the Royal Rumble 2007. Now, obviously, I want to bring this back as a weekly series where, you know, obviously, whoever can be on the show can be on the show. So, obviously, this week, James is on the show because he watched the show today just like I did. So, we're doing the Retro Wrestling Review Series. It's pretty self-explanatory how this works. We're going to watch a past wrestling show and obviously review it. It's pretty self-explanatory. And how this works, too, is each person who's on the show gets to pick the pay-per-view, or, you know, like a Raw, a SmackDown, a 205 Live, an NXT, a WCW show, a New Japan show, any wrestling show they want to watch.
Yeah, let us know. Retro Wrestling. We're doing a deal.
But the rule is that if it's your pick, you have to be on the show that week because there's no point of watching the show if you're not going to be on it. And obviously, it's mean to the person because they missed out on reviewing their pick. That's kind of the whole point of.
Yeah.
Now,
this is a.
Now, since James, Chris Dodd is being punished because he didn't watch the show, and I didn't tell him he couldn't be on the show. He actually couldn't be on the show. His pick, you get to take his place with his. You get the next pick now.
Cool.
Show we do. Now, obviously, for this month, at least until the Royal Rumble, there's going to be some stipulations about what you can and what you can pick because I figured we make this like a Royal Rumble extravaganza month where pretty much...
Yeah, that's fine.
And also, too, not just Royal Rumble, though. Since NXT TakeOver always falls with the Big Four, well, the Big Five has Money in the Bank. You fell on Money in the Bank, too. You can pick an NXT TakeOver. Or an NXT Arrival counts. I know it's not like a takeover, but NXT Arrival I think should count as a takeover. And you could, since NXT UK Takeover Blackpool is not this Saturday, but next Saturday, you could pick an NXT UK related show. Obviously, I did write down some recommended ones. I'll just read them real quick. You can pick any of the 2 tournament shows. The NXT episode from June 15th, 2017. Since that's where Tyler Bate first defended his UK Championship. The UK Championship special. NXT TakeOver Chicago, since that has that great Pete Dunne Tyler Bate match. Raw, you're not going to pick this show, but Raw November 6, 2017, since Pete Dunne made his debut on it. Any of the 205 lives that crossed over with the UK brand. NXT TakeOver War Games, because technically on that show, it was the first time that an American fought for the UK Championship. NXT from December 20th, 2017, since Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate had their 3rd match on there. NXT from November 11th, 2018. I think this one qualifies because it has Mustache Mountain versus Strawn and O'Reilly, where they win the titles back. I think that actually should qualify. You could NXT for November 19th, 2018, since it has the North American champion versus NXT UK champion, and obviously NXT from October 10th, 2018, where it has the triple threat match with Adam Cole involved. So those are the shows like UK related, because I feel like you can't do any of the UK weekly episodic television shows because they're kind of too recent from. I'll send you this list, but you don't have to decide now, but you do have to decide at the end of the video. So
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'll come up with something. I already have something in mind anyway.
So let's talk about the Royal Rumble 2007. I'm gonna go. I picked this show because when I first started watching wrestling, I would like.
Hi, John. I noticed you.
I picked this show though because when I started watching wrestling, this is like one of the shows that I would watch like repeatedly because it was one of the only wrestling DVDs that I had. And I thought the show, I didn't think it was like the best in the world back then, but I really liked the show. And my opinion hasn't changed, but there's obviously some things that don't hold up as well probably on this show as they did, obviously when it happened at the time. But I still think, like, if you would ask me, I still think this show holds up well with today's WWE programming. I feel like the best way to start off by talking about this show is, I know 2007 was probably the worst year in the history of professional wrestling for outside reasons mostly. And obviously it kind of affected the product too, because after that situation happened, wrestling kind of had to kind of focus on that. They kind of but I would say though, if you were to kind of take this show and compare it to the main roster today, I would say this is easily better than anything on the main roster today.
It's not even close. It's pretty bad because the reason why is because there's actually more star power in this Rumble, like this whole Rumble card.
Yeah.
Like altogether, like when you look at Umaga, you think star. Like, you might not think a superstar, but you do think of a star that was being at least built, even if he was built to be fed the scene or whatever.
Yeah. Mr. Kennedy.
Kennedy was a huge star. He was majorly over. Batista, superstar. Lashley in his own right was a superstar. And like, he wasn't as bad as I remembered him. Like, in this Rumble.
I feel like in the match that they had was a bad example, though. But he wasn't as...
He really wasn't bad, to be honest. But I felt like I was watching, like, older Lashley. Just a little bit greener.
And I will say, too, there's 3 things I noticed with this show, and I'm going to talk about one of them right now. It's definitely easier to watch this show than the main roster shows because it's not, like, 6 hours long of, like, crap.
Yeah, it's 2:45.
Which is obviously ironic, too, because one of the complaints I read online of this show is that the show was a little short. You know what the funny thing is? If this show happened today, I think everyone would be like, you know what? That was awesome. There was 2 hours. We got in, we got out, and got to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But I could kind of see that being a complaint. I think, like, where they went wrong maybe on the show is maybe they should have added a cruiserweight match because that was obviously a thing on the show, or maybe like a U.S. title match, but the U.S. title was missing around this time, so they couldn't add a U.S. title match.
Yeah, I guess the biggest issue I think was who was it? Like, you're having all these different titles. Like, there was like 3 world titles. That was the problem. Like,
and they had I think they had like what 3? I think they had 3 mid card title. Well, I guess cruiserweight's more of an undercard belt, but they had 2 mid card belts. They had 2 tag team belts. And then they had there was no women's match on this show. But I'm gonna be honest, I know this is gonna sound really bad because obviously we're in a women's revolution. I feel like that's actually a saving grace, obviously, because the women's division was really bad around this time. So
yeah.
I mean, I guess if you wanted to do a women's match, though, you could have done Mickie James versus Melina because they were like the 2 probably best women wrestlers on the roster at the time.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely. Yeah. I would venture to guess like you probably could have gotten a banger of a match. This is one of those shows where you could have done a 4-hour show and nothing more, though. Like that's the thing. Know. Like that might be because the thing is when WrestleMania 19 was 4 hours, no one had a complaint in the world. And that show was awesome. So, yeah. I mean, it was a perfect amount of time. It was actually good. The card was good. If you just book a pretty decent card, you'll probably end up with a pretty decent show as long as you have enough matches on it. That's why I said it's like, so long as you book it, people will have something to be invested in. Like the difference between around this time and now, even in 2007, you had more to be invested in than nowadays. Absolutely. Like, there is nothing to be invested in now. Not a fucking thing to be invested in. Hi, Kuzan. Yeah. How you doing? Jack Robinson in the chat, brothers. Say hello.
Hello, Jack. He can see the chat, I can't, so.
Yeah, but you can say hi when I say hey.
But yeah,
because I see the chat.
Obviously, I like this too. Obviously, as you talk about investment too, I obviously like what I liked about this show too is they would actually bring up stuff that, like for example, when Matt Hardy and Edge went at it in the Rumble, they talked about like the history that happened, even though it was like 2 years ago. I still thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, because they don't insult our intelligence. Yeah, I want to know why you dox me.
I like to call this storyline.
What do you mean? What do you mean, why do I dox you? You said, no, J-A-K, man. J-A-K.
And I want to talk about something else that was better on this show than today, which is really ironic, because it's pretty much this. A lot of the commentators that are on this show are in the commentary team today or have been in the present time. I think the commentary, too, is much better on this show than it was today, which is really weird because it's the same person in their ear and everything, but JBL's commentary is easily better on this show than it ever was today.
Yes. Which I have to give him credit on because, like, I know people are going to be like, wait, you're giving JBL credit for something. I've shit on this guy for years. Here's the one point where I didn't shit on him. 2006, 2007, when he was the SmackDown color commentator next to Michael Cole, he was on his fucking game. He was at his very best on behind the commentary booth. The minute he came back nowadays, had to be micromanaged like everybody else. And it's not even just with JBL. Look at what they've done to Corey. Look at what they've done to Byron Saxton. Look at what they've done to Renee Young. Look at what they've done to pretty much every other commentator that has ever come through that. Even Mauro Ranallo, who had to quit and go to a lesser promotion in NXT, which is in reality better. So,
which makes me worry when Nigel gets called up.
Yeah, exactly. Compare the 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 JBL to this JBL. The difference is night and day. The difference is night and day. Like, he is such a good heel commentator. Like, part of it is because he's an asshole. But still, regardless, he is such a better heel commentator around this time than, say, however many years ago it was. You know what I mean?
Also, you had Lawler and Kin together on commentary on this show. That's obviously awesome to see them together.
Oh, that was awesome. That was nostalgic for me. Like,
you know what kind of sucks, though? Watching this commentary, I had to go watch... I watched 205 Live afterwards, and I still like Vic, but it makes Vic's commentary kind of sound even more crappy than it is, honestly. So
yeah. Exactly.
But I feel like, and obviously, even though they didn't probably give a crap, you had... you don't have to talk about this yet, because obviously I want you to save that for the match. Taz and Joey Styles, even though they didn't really give... I don't think... Maybe Taz cared, but you could tell kind of like if you watch the opening of this show, like when it shows the commentators, you could tell like Joey Styles just like didn't really want to be there. So, but he still did really well on this show, I thought. So
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I just pretty much said all the commentary team, but I'll just say Lawler and Ross commentated all the Raw matches. JBL and Mike Cole commentated all the SmackDown matches, which you just kind of said. And obviously Taz and Joey Styles commentated, I don't want to say all the ECW matches, but the
one ECW match, yes. That's exactly what you should say, yes.
Yeah. And let's start out with the show. Obviously, one thing obviously that is very weird to watch is there's actually pyro. It was a thing then. It's still really weird to like watch, you know, pyro be a thing then because you know, they don't want to have that anymore because they got to get XFL on the ground apparently, so they don't think pyro is important.
Yeah, right.
And then I love the video package, like the opening video package kind of.
Opening video package was hype. I won't deny it. Like that was a hype video package, man. Although I'm pissed that they got rid of the original 2007 theme for some stupid copyright reason. I'm sure.
I'm assuming. You actually reminded me. That was the third thing I was gonna say too. Is if you watch this on the network, you have to listen. Actually, what I did is I found like a full version of this on Daily Motion, and anytime I had to listen to that crappy song, I went and watched it. I went and watched it. Once I probably just got them in trouble because now WWE's probably gonna go find them and be like, oh, now we're gonna take this. But they can't take it off Daily Motion, I believe, right? They don't have to follow copyright stuff. So.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. There is so much that flies on Daily Motion. Trust me. I've been to that part of Daily Motion.
But the opening video package was awesome. It set up like the Royal Rumble match, and
yeah,
obviously too. I feel like that really hasn't changed much from today though, because WWE still produces some awesome video packages. So
yeah, that has not changed at all. Definitely.
I'll talk about the opening match. It was an interbranded match actually. It was Eminem with Melina versus the Hardys. Johnny Nitro and Jeff Hardy were both represented Raw, and Joey Mercury and Matt Hardy were both represented SmackDown, which was kind of cool. I kind of wish they would do more stuff like this instead of just at Survivor Series, where they would do like a Raw and SmackDown match like this. Because, I mean, obviously nowadays it's not that big a deal because every brand, you know, double branded and stuff. But
yeah, on the pay-per-views it is, yeah.
But I think that would be kind of cool to do something like this. So the storyline going into this match was Jeff Hardy had just come back to WWE at the end of the summer in 2006. He had started a feud with Johnny Nitro over the Intercontinental title. They hot potatoed with the title, and they had an amazing ladder match on Raw, I believe, right before Survivor Series of 2006. And then obviously they had that pretty good cage match at New Year's Revolution. I mean, obviously the ladder match is probably the best match. But
yeah, definitely. It was the best match that they had. Probably all year in 06, to be honest.
Yeah. But meanwhile, as all this was happening, and obviously I like this because the feuds intertwined. Now, what happened first? Was it the December to Dismember match or the Armageddon ladder match? I believe it was the December to Dismember.
December to Dismember, yeah. December to Dismember.
Which obviously that's memorable because that's the only good thing on that show. So
yep.
The Hardys beat them, and it was kind of cool because we were getting the Hardys reunion. Now, obviously, I don't know this because I didn't look into it. Is there a reason they couldn't use the Hardy Boys name in 2007 because they were just the Hardys? Was it
no idea? I have no idea, and I still don't know why they did that. Because when they came back, I think around this year, they were allowed to use the Hardy Boys name.
Yeah, so somebody must have yelled at them or something. So,
freaking
really weird.
Man.
But obviously, though, the biggest storyline of this match was the Fatal 4-Way ladder match at Armageddon 2006 that the Hardys and Eminem were both in, when Jeff Hardy and inadvertently, obviously this was a botch, but this is another example where an injury was utilized, where an injury made a feud better, because obviously we had that example this year, where Jeff Hardy did the leg drop and Joey Mercury was too close to the ladder, and the ladder went into his face. And he ended up getting
bleeding like a stuffed pig. Which, by the way, the ironic thing about this, so I was eating a sandwich right when they were showing this on the replay of Armageddon. I'm like, I just fucking ate, you dicks.
I know.
Fuck out of here.
And I feel like too that's probably they stopped using like real ladders afterwards too because of that.
I think so. Yeah.
which obviously I think that was probably a good precaution, probably, so that doesn't happen again. And Joey Mercury, obviously, I don't know though if his face was really as hurt. I don't know if they just did this more as like a storyline. Like his face probably really was hurt, but they probably milked it as that his face was hurt longer than it was. But which I'm always obviously okay with. So Joey Mercury wanted to make it his mission to take out the Hardys, which obviously makes sense because they tried to break his face. And they did a segment on SmackDown a couple weeks prior to this where Eminem hit the snapshot on the floor on Matt Hardy on the exposed floor on the concrete, dislocated in his jaw. And this led to this match. And I would say this match still holds up well to today. If you probably put this match on today's WWE product, I think it would still probably get the same star rating as I gave it. This was a really good match. Obviously, one thing I wish I could forget about is Melina's scream that she would do when the Eminem was in control and stuff like that. Remember that weird scream she would do during the matches?
Yeah. That was you want to know the funniest part was, like, and I'll admit, like, I think Melina's hot. Like, I'm single. Yeah. I'll say whatever the hell I want to say. So the minute I see her, I'm like, oh, mama. Because, like, she looked fine, man. She looked fine. And then she does that scream, and I'm like, all right, I've had enough of Melina.
Yeah.
I've had just about all I can take of Melina.
No, I actually forgot. Was she on Raw or SmackDown at this time? She was Raw, right?
She was Raw, I believe, yeah.
And JR and King called this match because they did. They didn't really give a reason, which I thought that was kind of weird because it was mainly a SmackDown feud. You would have thought the SmackDown commentary.
Yeah, I would have just had one from each commentary team work. To be honest,
probably Cole and actually I would have had. I don't know if maybe they don't like work together well on commentary because you never see them. I would have tried JO and JBO on commentary together, but I have a feeling that maybe there's something wrong because they never put them together on commentary for some reason. I don't know why that.
Yeah, I wonder why. Maybe JR doesn't like him.
But now that we'll talk about the match, obviously this was a really good opening tag team match. The Eminem dominated a little bit early in this match. And then the Hardys dominated. They hit some really cool double team moves where Jeff Hardy hit the flip senton as Matt Hardy did the leg drop, I believe, on Johnny Nitro, which obviously looked awesome.
Yeah.
And
that was good shit.
Then they got the heat on Matt Hardy for a little bit, and then Jeff Hardy got the hot tag. And I actually like this spot. They did a double wheelbarrow suplex, which I still think obviously they don't do that today because obviously Matt Hardy's not wrestling right now. But
yeah.
I think they did that when they had their most recent comeback, and then they try to do the splash leg drop combination they do up the top, which is kind of hard for me to watch that move now, knowing what that did to Matt Hardy's career. But I actually like the way they did this spot where Johnny Nitro got his knees up on Jeff Hardy when he went for the splash, but he ended up getting the leg drop anyways, and Matt Hardy couldn't do anything about it because obviously he wasn't the legal man. So they got the heat on Jeff Hardy for a long time. One of the highlights was Eminem doing the double gutbuster onto Jeff Hardy. That was really cool. And then Matt Hardy got the hot tag. They hit the poetry of motion.
Hold on. Before you continue, Jack says, Johnny Nitro got cucked and Joey Mercury got a broken nose. I want to strangle Melina to drown out the sounds of screaming women.
That's a good line.
Jack. Good shit, bro. Another thing I want to point out. If you notice, in the middle of the match, Melina is shown groping both Mercury and Nitro's ass at least twice. It's shown 2 times. Like, she's all up in that fucking ass area, dude. Like, oh my goodness. Let me get a squeeze there.
Well, Johnny Nitro wasn't as bad because they were dating in real life at this time.
No, I know that, but like literally before she grabbed Johnny's ass, she grabbed Mercury's right in front of Johnny. I'm like, you're a bitch. You're just a fucking bitch, aren't you? Like, first you fucking people, now you're groping them in front of them in the middle of a freaking match you're supposed to work.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Oh my god. Anyway, yeah. That happened.
Yeah, they hit the poetry of motion, and then Matt Hardy hits the twist of fate after hits the side effect, because Matt Hardy learned never to go for covers after the side effect, because it's always going to get kicked out of. So
yes, exactly. So finally, Matt Hardy learned his lesson.
Yep. And then he goes for one of Joey Mercury because he tries to break it up, and then Mercury tackles him outside the ring. Jeff Hardy tags himself in, hits a swanton on Johnny Nitro, and gets the victory, which obviously I thought made sense because the Hardys were just coming back. I feel like that made sense because I think they were going to be a team. I think I'll go over Joey Mercury's aftermath because he's not seen again on this show. Joey Mercury, I believe this was, he worked one more pay-per-view, and he was off TV, I believe, shortly after this, because I don't remember Eminem teaming much after the No Way Out match.
Yeah, they definitely didn't team after this.
So it was kind of cool that we got to see the Hardys have one more one, and obviously Eminem have one more one together, and I thought we got some really good matches out of it. I gave this match 3 3/4. I thought it was a really good opening tag team match, and if we got like a tag team match like this at this year's Royal Rumble, I'd be satisfied.
I agree.
And then obviously you had a funny segment backstage, which I wish they would do more of these segments with the people in the Royal...
these segments on the Royal Rumble were hilarious, dude. Like I'm not even gonna front like this. These segments were actually funny. Only problem I have with it is it really buried ECW a lot.
And SmackDown a little bit, too.
SmackDown? Yeah, but they always do that, even though they probably shouldn't.
So this was hosted by the two authority figures, Jonathan Coachman and Teddy Long, because you don't need to talk about it yet, because that's the next match. ECW didn't have an authority figure anymore, so...
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like, why isn't there an ECW figure? Oh, right, because Heyman left.
Save it, James. You just got a couple more seconds. Save it, because you only got one more thing. I should actually make you wait a long time, but I'm not going to do that to you. But Kelly has given out the Royal Rumble balls, which obviously was a big joke, because... Kelly was...
She was an exhibitionist, yeah.
And Edge comes up, and he has a funny line to Kelly. He asks if her parents gave Kelly 2...
That was hilarious, yeah. Yeah, that was funny. And no disrespect to Kelly, by the way. She's blessed as a person. It's just... Yeah. Like, Edge is just great. He's a heel. He's so good.
I did like her comeback, though, where she said, at least that is my real name.
Yeah. Yo, that's hilarious. Like, that was actually a good comeback by her, too. I was actually kind of shocked. I'm like, oh, shit. The clapback.
And then Randy Orton comes up, and at the time, they were the tag team Rated RKO. They were the World Tag Team Champions together, which obviously I was fine with because that made sense. And... they did a thin on Raw.
Yeah, they were the World Tag Team Champions that they were already in the midst of breaking up.
Yeah. Well, I think they had to break them up early because real-life situations took over where...
yeah, right, with Orton's fucking bullshit, yeah.
No, actually, I was talking about because Triple H got hurt in real life, so they had to break them up early, I think.
Yeah, true. Well, I mean, that's what happens when you don't have other teams to go against.
But, they did a thing where Randy Orton eliminated him from the Rumble. He grabs his Royal Rumble entry. I almost said his ball, but I don't want to, obviously have that joke come out. So.
Oh, no, that's going to be a running joke. We should totally just go with it.
Thinking about it, by the way, hearing about that now, obviously with the Now reports coming out, is kind of funny. Randy Orton grabbing his Royal Rumble ball, obviously, because...
yeah, because of the reports, right?
Yeah. Right. And then obviously they do a funny bit where Edge tries to look at his Royal Rumble number, and Randy Orton's obviously upset about this. I don't know why you'd be upset about that because of the recent reports, but I guess because Edge isn't a WWE writer, he was upset about it. So,
yep.
Because obviously that's the part of the reports.
Oh God, it's fucking hilarious.
So
no,
Edge...
the funniest part about that was. They do the whole I'll see what you have if you see what I have, like, and it looked really wrong out of context, and out of nowhere comes King Booker, and he's just walking, and he just looks at him straight face. It's like, tell me he didn't just say that.
Yep.
Like, Yes, absolutely.
You know,
this is great.
I thought they cut something out of the segment too, because if you watch this on the network, it goes right to like Joey Styles and Taz. Like, did they cut something? So that's what made me go to Daily Motion and try to find this, but they actually just cut an ad. But this segment was obviously really funny, and obviously there'd be more funny ones later on in the night. But now you get your moments to shine right here. Do I even need to say the match, or do you want to just go?
I'll talk about the match.
And you could
your boy Kuzan Test versus Bobby Lashley for the ECW Championship.
Oh, you didn't say World Championship.
They weren't. Should I have called it a World Championship? They weren't treating it like one.
That's what they called it. So,
where to fucking begin? Okay. So this is how they structured this fucking match. Test was destroying everybody, beating the shit out of every single person. Wrecking shop as a challenger, a credible threat to Bobby Lashley's ECW Championship, right? So what do they do to really get over that Test is a monster heel and that he's out here for blood and that he wants that ECW Championship so bad that he's willing to annihilate everybody on the ECW roster to do it? Well, in typical WWE ECW fashion, they have Test halfway through the match, as he's just getting up to enter back into the ring, say, fuck it, I'm going to take a count-out loss. Real worthy challenger. The fuck was the point of this? Why? Why are we going to go through all of this hard work to build up Test just to be like, I'm going to take a count-out loss? It buries Test. It buried Lashley. Nobody got over. ECW didn't get over. Why didn't you just have Lashley get the win? This was so pointless. Not to mention, it's the ECW Championship, and oh wait, it's no disqualification. And, like, so it already had a handicap going in. And it was like, nobody was chanting ECW as this match was going on. Nobody reacted at all. Like, there was no reaction.
I think I heard some boring chants.
Yeah, there was some boring chants. I mean, and the funny thing is, the story of this match was actually the one saving grace, and then they go and ruin it by having Test just walk out. Like, what was this? Why bother having the match in the first place? Book a U.S. title match or a freaking Intercontinental Championship match if you're going to do that.
Well, they couldn't because Jeff Hardy was the Intercontinental Champion, so...
Well, a U.S. title match, whatever. Cruiserweight title match. Anything but this shit that we got. This was ridiculous. And this would not be the last time they buried ECW on the show, by the way.
Nope.
Like, I'm almost convinced Vince resurrected ECW just to stick his thumb down it and bury it. I'm almost convinced at this point.
Almost. I'm completely convinced. What makes it an almost?
Because I want to think he's not that dumb. I want to think he wanted to make money.
I just think he wanted to, like, just show that he was better than ECW than the competition. That's all I think. He wanted to prove that ECW was crap.
It's terrible, dude. This is actually terrible.
You know what? Thinking about it, I might change my star rating. I gave this match 2 stars. That's too generous. I'm giving it like a star and a half.
Yeah, I'm giving it a star and a half. This is terrible. This is actually the worst thing on the show.
Yeah.
Like, at all. Like, completely. Like, this reminded me of the Nowadays era and why we have it now.
You know, and we talked about this before we recorded. We talked about how 205 Live got that. 205 Live looked like the Cruiserweight Classics compared to what ECW was. So,
dude, that's not even a joke.
Yeah.
Like, this is a travesty. This is an absolute travesty.
Now, obviously, I want to give another rant. A lot of people saw, like, World Championship and Test seeing this match and like seeing all Test matches, I never saw it. I don't really see like what the big deal with Test was. He's just generic.
Hey, like I didn't either, but look, people like Tests, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't blame him. It's not like he couldn't get it done in the ring somewhat. It was just.
Oh, we didn't really.
Oh my
by
god.
The way,
by the way, I mean another thing that needs to be said. Holy Roydy Magoo for Test. I mean, holy shit, this guy was bloated halfway through the match, and you could tell he was on the roids by the freaking zit on his neck to where he injected the fucking steroids in. Like, it was absolutely visible.
Yep.
He had acne all over his back. He had mountains on his back, for fuck's sake, for miles.
Yeah.
For miles. Like, holy crap, dude.
And unfortunately, that brings us to where Test is today, because he died 2 years later, right?
Yeah, he died 2 years later because of heart failure. Like, Christ, dude.
Wasn't Test... He was gone out of the company shortly after this match, I think, which I don't blame him.
Yeah, and by the way, I want to point this out. This is where I say WWE does not learn from its mistakes. Because look at the steroid trial, and then look what happened later on. People still took them, and look at what happened to Jinder Mahal.
Yep.
Enough said. Compare Jinder Mahal's physique back in late 2017, and look at Test, and you could see the exact same resemblance. The only difference is he didn't have the zit in his neck.
Yep. And then Bobby Lashley, obviously, would have a pretty mediocre ECW championship reign, and obviously ECW, the ECW though wasn't dead yet, because obviously the final nail in the coffin for like the rebranded ECW was Backlash 2007. That was like the final nail in the coffin.
Mm-hmm.
And
which I have not. Oh yeah, because that was the fucking show where Vince became ECW champion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, a fun fact, which isn't really fun, I think Bobby Lashley is one of 2 superstars to be a 2-time ECW champion under the WWE rebranded edition, but I don't think that was a very fun fact, so.
No, it wasn't.
But Bobby Lashley, obviously.
You want to know the funniest thing, too? It's not like he couldn't have been a mid-card champion if they had a mid-card division in the ECW show.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? They just... I want to put this in perspective for everybody. Like, everyone had high hopes for ECW in 06. The writing was on the wall when you saw there was no tag titles, no hardcore title or television title or any of that. It was just the ECW world title.
Yeah.
That was it. There was nothing else. That showed you they didn't take this seriously.
And you did talk about, too, how, like, nobody got over in this match, because guess what? At the end of the year, none of these guys were in the company anymore.
Yeah, by the very end, they were gone.
And
Bobby Lashley was barely getting over by the time he left.
Yeah. And then obviously ironically enough, he got better in MMA and obviously TNA/Impact Wrestling, and he's just back now, and
they've completely ruined him.
Again.
And it's not even his fault this time.
Yep.
Anyway, next.
John Cena's backstage. We'll get into why, but he's being checked on by the doctors because he's injured, because he's got abdominal injuries.
Because of MAGA.
Vince McMahon comes in and says that he does not see John Cena being the last man standing and walking out with his title, and then that was it. This was fine. Really didn't have any issues with this. Obviously, today it's more the same old crap with John Cena, honestly, if you watch this today. But,
yeah. Fair enough, yeah.
This segment doesn't hold up well today.
Don't tell Chris that. He'll get...
I don't think so today, but I'll let you break down this match, because I'm going to be talking about the Rumble, which is like half the show. You know what the next match is, or?
I know the match. I know the next match. So, yeah. WWE Championship match? No. World Championship match, right. Kennedy and Batista. The promo package was hype. Really got over Kennedy. They did not have any mic time for Batista in the promo, which...
I think this was more to get Kennedy over than Batista, probably, so that's what I'm guessing, so...
I mean, it worked. Holy
Yeah.
crap, man. They got. I think they had the opposite effect of what they wanted. How they built this too.
I know.
I mean, both of them were still humongously over, man. Like Batista was still got a massive pop. Kennedy got a massive pop by the end. This show, like they both looked awesome in this match. Like Batista, like a lot of people were shitting on, but like he really wasn't that bad when you look at what he was able to do. Like he really wasn't.
Yeah.
He just needed to know the timing, and he would eventually learn it as time went on. You know what I mean? Especially at late 09 to 2010, his best run, like by far. He at that point he got it, man. Like he was just a damn monster. I think that was the thing too. Is like he's a really cool babyface, but he's a much better heel.
Exactly. Yeah.
He was a much better heel.
I think it was a mistake to keep him face as long as they did.
Yeah. Yeah. At this point.
I mean, I get why though, because SmackDown needed a top face, obviously.
Well, he got over organically as a face because of the Evolution shit. But then they drafted him to SmackDown. It's like, oh, okay. And I was even confused with it as a child. By the way, I was watching SmackDown at the time. I'm like, why? Isn't he a bad guy? And then like I grew to love the guy, but still, I mean, it was just like, what the heck?
I even like the bit with this feud where I wish they would do like more beat the clock shit, because they did like a beat the clock spin for like 2 weeks. Do that like that, even though that'd be stuff cool. Like it would make wrestling people want to watch that for like at least a couple weeks in. Yeah,
and then they'll freaking abuse it and ruin it, and it'll become a tired treat, which WWE happens to do though. You gotta remember that side of the coin too.
But Mr. Kennedy obviously set the time, and I liked how he screwed the Undertaker over at the end, which obviously we'll get into what the Miz has become now. I will say this just real quick. A lot of people that think the Miz hasn't paid his due, go watch the Miz in 2007 and watch him now. He's paid his dues. I would just say that.
Oh, absolutely. Oh man.
Well, we'll get into that. And then I like too how like Mr. Kennedy was at the heel, like he kept getting away from Batista, where like he had like that #1 contenders match with like Taker. And obviously, he utilized his mind games to cause Batista to cost the Undertaker the matchup, which obviously was setting up like a bigger match down the line, obviously. So even in 2007, they were doing this type of crap. And then obviously they did the thing where Undertaker like tried to attack Kennedy, but Kennedy ducked and he accidentally attacked Batista. So they were like using this feud to set up Batista versus Taker at WrestleMania as well. So it was like, even though we didn't know they were going there, they like kind of had like a plan. So.
Yeah, they had a plan, all right. That's for sure.
But I thought this was a good quality World Championship match. The only thing that's really weird is Kennedy. Obviously, is Kennedy's selling with like certain moves and stuff, but I still think it's fine. And obviously, what really makes the match is where we talk about JBL's commentary, especially like when Kennedy had the match won and JBL just loses it. He blows a gasket when like Kennedy was robbed out of the world.
Oh my god, this is hilarious. He was like, "This is a damn travesty."
He even counted too, like how long Kennedy had him pinned before, because the referee.
He was marking out for Kennedy, man. This is hilarious. I think he genuinely liked Kennedy. Like, didn't he have an issue with Kennedy?
I thought he did, but it seemed like he generally liked him. So,
like that was JBL like really hyping up Kennedy, man. Like he put him over huge in this match.
Definitely.
Like holy hell, he did. Like when JBL wants to put people over, he'll put people over whether it's in the ring or behind the booth, man. And like he puts them over like nobody else. Like,
and then obviously to finish of the match is Batista catching Kennedy off the middle turnbuckle with a clothesline and then hitting a Batista bomb on him for the win. Which obviously I think that made sense because Batista I think was the right guy to go into Mania as champion.
Oh yeah, especially with the match we got. Yeah.
It's kind of it's a little sad to watch this match back too because Kennedy was always that guy that was. I feel like out of all the guys, Kennedy was like that main eventer we never got because he was groomed to become the world heavyweight champion on SmackDown. And
then the steroid shit happened, which was their own goddamn fault.
And then the injury, and then obviously, the injury scare happened where he he got injured at like a live event, and then
Yeah, and then it was just downhill from there. Yeah, and well, I mean, he also was very stiff in the ring, and I didn't notice it before, but I can kind of see it now.
Because he got
this match in particular, he busted Batista's nose up bad, man, like hard way.
No, his nose was busted open.
Was it him or no? It was Batista.
No, it was him because he had blood on his nose. Unless it was Batista's.
I'm pretty sure it was Batista. Batista had a busted nose from that. Like, not a busted nose, but like his nose got cut on one of his knees. Yeah. Knee strikes. So like, I can see where people were coming from now, but still, like, this dude was a main eventer written all over him, and it's like a shame that he never got to live to that potential, man. Like, he should have been a bigger star.
Especially, like, I feel like in TNA he never really reached his potential either, too.
Yeah, well, I mean, if they gave him the world title, you wouldn't have known it because they fucking buried him every time.
Yeah.
And none of his reigns meant jack and shit.
Then you had Royal Rumble drawings, too. This was Kevin Thorne and Ariel picked Kevin Thorne's Royal Rumble number, which that was...
Shelly. Shelly Martinez. Look hot, but you wrestle like shit.
I liked how kind of Kelly was there because obviously they had that ECW December to Dismember match like a month prior, so...
Yeah.
Then, Little Bastard, because he wasn't Hornswoggle yet.
Oh, alright, so he was still a Little Bastard?
I think so, yeah, because
That was funny, I'm sorry. I liked Hornswoggle better when he was Little Bastard than I liked him as Hornswoggle. When they changed his name to Hornswoggle, can I be honest?
Yeah.
Like, I loved it so much more. Because, like, when he was just known as Little Bastard, he was being a little bastard.
Yeah. And he just grabs, like, a Royal Rumble number, and then Coach says something to him, and he attacks Coach and bites his ear.
Yeah, no. He says, I hope it's not a small number. And then, which, by the way, never saw Hornswoggle in the Rumble.
No. Well, you could make the argument it's just Little Bastard being Little Bastard, too, though, so...
Yeah, but still, why wasn't he in the Rumble? Because, like, that confuses me now, because I just realized, wait a minute, he wasn't even in the fucking match. Why did he... Wait, why did he pick the number?
I don't know.
Damn it.
And then...
continuity problems were starting even back then, man.
The Great Khali stands in front of him, and then obviously Little Bastard gets scared because... Great Khali's 7'3" and Hornswoggle's like 4'3", so
he doesn't even get scared. No, he doesn't even get scared. Scared's not even the appropriate word by this time. He would get scared later on by the end of the year, of course, because But you know, they had to turn him face. But when he was a heel, and you know, Finley's lackey, he was just like looking up at him, and he's like, "Huh?"
Oh, maybe.
And he just ran off like.
You know what? Maybe he was picking Finley's Royal Rumble number actually.
Oh yeah,
because that
makes sense. That actually makes sense.
Yeah, and then the Great Khali picks 3 balls out of the thing, and Coach tells him you can only have 1, so he puts the other 2 down, and of course this sets up the joke where Kelly grabs the 2 balls, says,
"Dude, she broke halfway through this, by the way."
Yeah,
she literally had a laugh in there, and if you listen closely as she's saying the line, she's like, "Why the fuck am I here?" kind of. She's like, "These are the biggest balls I've ever held."
Yeah.
Like, it was like a laugh of disgust. And then she just looks at Ron. Ron just goes, "Damn!" And then she's like, "Oh, God." Okay.
You know what? This segment was madness, but it was just entertaining as hell, so I loved it.
This was thumbs up. This is thumbs up all the way.
Oh, I forgot to do the star rating for the world title match between Batista and Kennedy. I gave it 3 stars. Good match.
Yeah, we're not giving a star rating to the ECW title match and the opening match 2.5. Actually, I will give a star rating to... Are we allowed to go to negatives? I'm going negatives. Fucking -3 stars for the ECW world title match.
Wow, you hated it more than me.
I hated this match. I thought it was so fucking I was into it, and then when they did that finish, I hated the match. And it was like, fuck this then. I'm rating this low. Like, this sucked.
All right, then you had last man standing match for the WWE Championship. WWE Champion John Cena with I can't show you, but the crappy spinner WWE Championship.
Yeah.
Versus Umaga with Armando Estrada, which I miss Armando Estrada.
Armando, I miss managers altogether, man. There's not enough of them. Like,
there's only the 205 Live roster that's the managers now. So
my name is Armando Alejandro Estrada. I can't do the roll of the R's.
So the reason this feud was happening is because Umaga had come into WWE at the night after, I believe, WrestleMania 22, or might have been a couple weeks afterwards. I know he was there after WrestleMania 22 because he has a match at Backlash, and that was the pay-per-view in WrestleMania 22. And he was just on a roll. Like, he was on a year-long undefeated streak. Nobody beat him. Well, unpinned anyways, because obviously he's probably lost a few matches by DQ, but we don't remember those type of things because they don't count. I'm saying that, too, actually. They don't count, so...
Fair enough.
And finally, he comes up to John Cena. Now, obviously, this probably wasn't a big deal then because Cena was still new to the main event scene. But obviously, what I'm about to say is typical John Cena booking. He comes up to John Cena at New Year's Revolution, and guess what happens? He loses his first match to John Cena, which probably was the wrong time for him to lose because he lost at
lost to a roll-up.
Where he was winning where Cena was getting his ass kicked half the match, and it was at a no-name pay-per-view like New Year's Revolution.
Yep.
It was a Revolution or Resolution, and I think they called it Revolution because it's supposed to be like a pun on Revolution.
It's Revolution, New Year's Revolution.
So obviously Umaga wasn't going to take this loss lying down. Well, even though he kind of did, because obviously when you get pinned, you're kind of lying down, but you get what I'm talking about.
Well, I mean, the funniest thing is this finish of this match, when we get to it, is actually, I could see it actually working, like, and Umaga looking strong. So, like, this is actually one of the rare Cena finishes where I don't think a guy got buried by the end. Like, Umaga looked like a beast after.
Well, Umaga's career path afterwards wasn't the best, though. I guess I can't really say Cena buried him. There was more the WWE machine buried him in this case.
Yeah. Like, because he should have been booked way better. Like, because then he got the Intercontinental title, I think.
Yeah, and then he obviously...
$1 Million Mania.
Yep.
Then Santino.
Yeah. The Santino one I don't hate as much, because obviously you gotta... That was a fun moment, so...
That was fun, but still, like, that really didn't make Umaga look good.
Yeah.
Then the next year, Batista and him, where he just gets squashed.
Yeah.
And, it's just... Then he just kind of disappeared off the face of the earth. However, I feel like half the reason for it was because... well, we know about his addiction, and he's no longer with us. Like, he had an addiction to painkillers and shit. So that was probably the main reason why they didn't push him to the moon anymore. So in reality, I don't even think it was Cena's fault or the booking of Cena or anything. I think it was just that they couldn't rely on him because he was drugged up, you know? Like,
but then you have we'll talk about the match. So Umaga wasn't taking the loss lying down, so he wanted to attack Cena more. And this time, he wanted to book it like a last man... he wanted to pick the stipulation because obviously they were doing a thing since Coach was the heel authority figure. He was against Cena, so he let Armando Estrada pick the stip. And he picked, which I actually thought made sense, a last man standing match. Because obviously, Cena pretty much can't win by a fluke this time. He's actually going to knock the guy out, so I actually thought that made sense. And then obviously they did the segment on Raw where Umaga put him through the table and he had the abdominal injuries, so Cena wasn't coming into this match 100%. We had the match, and it's a great last man standing match. I think it's very fun. Umaga dominates the match early, working on the injured ribs of Cena. He hits him off the head with the steps. Cena throws the steps from inside the ring all the way to the outside on Umaga, which that was awesome.
Yeah.
He goes for a high cross body. Umaga counters with a tilt-a-whirl sidewalk slam, which that looked really cool.
Which was AKA the Black Hole Slam.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And then Umaga hits 2 hip attacks, like where he goes off the ropes and just drops all his weight right onto John Cena's ribs, which I think at that point Umaga had taken the protective like tape off of Cena. And he sets the bottom part of the steel steps up in the corner, and he goes to do his running hip attack, which is obviously still used today by various wrestlers. And he misses, and Cena hits a throwback right onto the steps. He hits the 5-knuckle shuffle, which if you think about it was kind of stupid for him to do, which made me start thinking the 5-knuckle shuffle is kind of a crappy move because that kind of wakes up your opponent. So, yeah.
Yeah, I never understood the point of the 5-knuckle shuffle. No one ever did. Because all it is just Ted DiBiase's fist drop with pizzazz.
Yeah. Then he goes for the, at the time called FU. And he, because of Cena's injury and Umaga's weight, he ends up falling onto the bottom part of the steps, and Cena gets busted open from this. He was just bleeding. Probably not as profusely as like Triple H would when he would blade himself, but pretty bad. So Umaga targets the head of John Cena, and then he goes to do like a headbutt with Cena in the tree of woe position, but Cena moves out of the way, which I actually kind of caught me by surprise, even watching it now, because I didn't expect Cena to move. And what happens is I think Umaga went into the post. Cena throws him into the post. I don't remember exactly how he got there. And I thought this was a pretty cool move. Cena grabs the old school television monitor, and he just hits Umaga while he's prone up against the post. This actually looks pretty brutal because, like, it looks like he got, like, pretty full contact with the monitor. I thought it looked really cool.
Yeah. I also liked, obviously, the best spot of the match was the missing of the splash.
Yeah, I think that was next, too, actually. When he goes through the table, and that must have killed too. And obviously, by the way, he went through the ECW announcer's table too. By the way, too.
Yeah. It was just like, you'll notice subtle hints of saying "fuck you," we don't care about ECW. This was one of them.
Yeah.
They did to the ECW table what they do to all the Spanish announce tables, and broke it.
Yep.
With no real payoff, and the other guy gets hurt performing the move. They had Umaga pretty much bury ECW with his weight.
You know what was kind of funny, too, is, well, not funny, but I wonder if that hurt Umaga in real life, because he didn't take out one of the monitors from the table, so I don't know how much contact he had with that monitor, by the way.
Yeah, that looked like it hurt.
And then he ends up getting up, and I thought that was funny because Jerry the Kid Lawler didn't know the rules of this match. He was like, "Wait, I thought you had to get up and go back into the ring. You just had to get up out of your feet like he's never seen a last man standing match."
Yeah, like what the hell, King? Are you? This is like during the time where he was going through some memory loss, man.
Yeah,
going through some serious memory loss.
And as all this is happening, Armando Estrada grabs a tool from under the ring, which I'm assuming that's where he got it, but it didn't show.
Yeah.
Unscrews the top turnbuckle and completely takes it off, but Cena catches him in the act, and Umaga, at first Umaga actually gets the advantage. He goes to hit Cena with it, but Cena ducks, hits the FU on him, and then he gets the STFU on him with the rope.
Yeah, this finish was actually really, really cool. Like people hate Cena, and that's fine, but I actually really enjoyed this finish.
I do too. Yeah.
It was a really well done finish to make Umaga look like a beast.
Yeah, definitely.
Cena had to use the damn rope. First up, before we even get that, this is a huge botch on commentary, and I don't even blame JR. Whoever it was in the back didn't tell them to call this, dude. How do they not know that Umaga was using that metal pole for the Samoan spike?
Right.
Yeah, he was using it for the Samoan spike. Cena got him in the the FU back then. Hit the FU, and then he hit the STFU with the rope. That was like the sequence of events. This is back when they really protected finishers. I mean, really protected finishers. Yep. So Umaga's Samoan strike was like humongously protected. Like, Cena didn't even kick out of it. He just kept blocking it.
Yeah.
Like, really putting the danger of the move over. So it was like...
Cena didn't even hit the FU until, like, this point of the match, too.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. This was, like, his match was... And then the STFU was another finisher of his, and he used the freaking rope.
Yeah.
Like, really showing, like, he was strong as shit, dude. Like, he was a strong mofo. And I really enjoyed this. Like, I thought Umaga looked really awesome in this match, even in defeat. And this is one of the, as I said, this is one of the few moments where I thought Umaga was going to have a decent career, even losing to Cena, and well, not even. I don't even think it's the WWE booking's fault, though. I think a lot of it had to do with Umaga himself.
Yeah.
So, what can you do?
And then obviously Cena retains the championship. We really haven't talked about the aftermath of the champions, but I figured we wait till the Rumble match to talk about that because that kind of goes with the Rumble. So, but the next one is that we had the Royal Rumble match drawings number 3, and this is when Coach is making fun of all the Raw and ECW roster.
No, just the ECW roster, I think, wasn't it? Oh no, that was the second one.
This was SmackDown too because this is when the Great Khali and Little Bassett had showed up, and he said, "My guys on Raw, they have class." And then Ric Flair comes up, which that was kind of funny.
Oh my god, this is hilarious. So Flair being Flair, Kelly's like all over Flair, and then the other two. Apparently, this is the start of Extreme Expose. Yeah. Where I think what was the other chick? I know it was Layla. And then I forget the other chick's name.
What?
Yeah, Brooke Tessmarker. Was it Brooke Tessmarker? Yeah, it was Tessmarker. Yeah. Just all dancing for him, and like he just goes, woo!
I think Ric Flair, and I think that was a legitimate woo. Like he was in heaven right there. So.
Oh yeah, and the sad part is he's like probably thinking to himself, do I really have to compete in this fucking Rumble? I want to. Maybe that's why he got eliminated, because the girls distracted him. He's like, I'm just gonna take them home.
Maybe he wanted to get maybe he called an audible and decided to get eliminated early so he could take them home.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time. Damn sure wouldn't be the last.
Yeah.
Woo!
But yeah. So if I had to make any recommendations for this year's Royal Rumble show, is to do some segments, obviously like this, but do some fun segments like this because they're fun. These were fun backstage segments. Yeah.
Although, listen to Owen, by the way, WWE, because the power's in the fans, right?
Yeah.
Right?
No,
right?
I have to ask a question. I was thinking about this because I thought there was what was the segment where CM Punk, I believe he picks a Rumble number and then he gets asked, "Will you hold my balls?" Was that a different Royal Rumble? I believe
it might have been a different Royal Rumble. I have to see that. This sounds hilarious, dude.
Because I know that happened at a Royal Rumble. I thought it was this show because it was when Punk was new to the company, but it must be the next year's Royal Rumble or something. So, oh, you know what? I'm thinking of Triple H when he does it when he did it in 2006. That's what I'm thinking about.
Oh yeah.
I had the Ron performer. I had Punk instead of Triple H.
I mean, I would see Punk doing that though. So
yeah. All right, now we get to the 30-man Royal Rumble match where the winner gets a title match at WrestleMania. I kind of have to break this match down a lot because I have the actual thing open on Wikipedia.
Okay. 30 men enter. First two superstars start. Every 30 seconds, Rumble entrant enters. The only way you win. Throw your opponent over the top rope with both feet hitting the floor. Last superstar in the ring will get the main event. And I put that in air quotes of WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah, because it wasn't the main event this year either. So.
Yep. No, it was not. And Batista and Taker were pissed. Yeah. And they had every fucking right to be because it was the best match on the fucking show.
I do want to say, though, the video package they did hyping up this Rumble was pretty good.
Yeah.
They the main guys they had you thinking that you would win would be obviously Rated RKO, which obviously that makes sense. Undertaker, Shawn Michaels. They were kind of building up Kenny Dykstra a little bit because he had victories over Ric Flair, which I didn't really understand that, but whatever. Ken Booker, because he never got his one-on-one rematch, which probably in real life they didn't want to do a one-on-one rematch because him and Batista had hit heat in real life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I believe there was another one that the Great Khali was the one they had. What's that? I know we hit crap on Khali, but that actually kind of makes sense because he's a giant and stuff. You would obviously, even though a giant never really does well in battle royals, but they like to do that. So,
yeah.
So let's talk about I'll just talk about the Royal Rumble match. I'll try to break down everything that happens, but it's very hard to do that in a Royal Rumble match. So I'll try to do the best I can with that. Number 1 was Monday Night Raw's Ric Flair, and number 2 was SmackDown's Finley, which I thought it was kind of cool to see them go at it.
Because it's the dirtiest player in the game versus the dirtiest player in the game. I mean, this is the two best people to start it off.
One thing that didn't make any sense, though, is they wouldn't let Finley bring his shillelagh down.
Yeah, I was like, what are you doing, Charles?
Yeah.
Why are you trying to take away the fucking shillelagh? He's allowed to have it in a Rumble. Like...
We found though that the Royal Rumble rules over the years are very weird. Like sometimes the people get DQ'd.
Dude, consistency. That's here again. You listen to the fans, right?
Yeah.
Consistency is key.
But it was pretty cool to see them go.
Hold on. I wish I could edit OBS right now and just get the image of the more you know.
Yeah.
Like.
What was I gonna say? Oh, it was pretty cool to see Finley and Ric Flair go at it. And ironically enough, I still remember this. They later on in the year had a match on SmackDown that was really good as well.
Yeah.
And then Kenny Dykstra was the next guy to come out, and him and Ric Flair went at it.
Yeah, Kenny Dykstra really built him up in that promo package, and then.
Yeah. Who was obviously representing Monday Night? Who was representing Monday Night Raw? By the way. And then SmackDown representation, Matt Hardy. We had Monday Night Raw's Edge and Ric Flair. Like I said, this is where storyline continuity came in, where Ric Flair, they remembered that Ric Flair and Edge were feuding at the time because obviously Edge and Randy Orton had taken out some of Ric Flair's friends. Ric Flair tried to go out and do a concerto to Edge, but Kenny Dykstra stopped him, and Kenny Dykstra and Edge both eliminated Ric Flair. And, Kenny Dykstra thinks him and Edge are going to be buddies, but Edge decided not to have it.
Wasn't this after he got a concerto by Rated RKO?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
What the hell? Like...
No, I think, though, he had gotten the concerto, though, right, it was he had been out, about 3 weeks, though, so.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't right after. It was, a couple weeks afterwards.
Okay,
yeah.
That's fine. I was gonna say, if he got that the week prior, that's and then he's just taking the piss out of the finisher. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
That's metal on metal, dude.
I don't think. Actually, no. That's actually not right. Actually, because I don't think he actually did get a concerto. He just got attacked backstage, but they didn't show him getting a concerto though. Actually,
okay.
So, but I did like that spot with Edge and Kenny Dykstra. I know you talk about it really didn't make any sense, but I never liked Kenny Dykstra, so it was just kind of I didn't really. I know it's I know it's a storyline era, but I'm gonna accept it because Kenny Dykstra's just bland as hell. So.
Yeah, he's. I'm just saying, they're building up a star and then they just go out of their way to squash him. If you knew he was gonna be bland, why did you go with him?
And then you had ECW's Tommy Dreamer come out next, and he hits the...
all right, I got to rant about this. I got to rant. Tommy Dreamer literally does nothing in this match. This is a far cry from his 2003 entrant. Far cry. Because he's... In 2003, he was his full-on ECW persona. Bringing in weapons, smashing everybody with them, grabbing weapons from fans, smashing them in the face and whatnot. Crowd going nuts for this guy. Complete far cry. And he gets one of the biggest pops in this Rumble.
Yeah, he does.
And they do nothing with him. Nothing.
The only thing I remember him doing is his ECW style leg drop that he does.
Yeah, the turnbuckle drop kick. That was it.
Yeah.
He had his one spot where, everyone else got, 4 or 5.
Yeah. And then you had the next entrant, ECW Sabu, which completely botched the Tornado DDT on Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah, but it still looked like a flatliner, so close enough. Whatever.
Yeah. Then you had number 8, your favorite guy, SmackDown's Cruiserweight Champion, Gregory Helms. Favorite guy ever.
Don't. Fucking hate this fucking fool.
Yep.
I was a big supporter of him, too, until that fucking tweet bullshit. Fuck you, dude.
Then you have, number 9, Monday Night Wars, Shelton Benjamin. Which
Ain't no stopping me, no.
Please bring that song back.
Yeah, right? Like, what is the new shit that he has? Hey, by the way, you...
EO. Something like that.
Oh, no, it's, dun, 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 or some fucking bullshit like that. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Like, it's some generic B-roll shit. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I forgot to mention, by the way, too, which is pretty bad, but maybe this just shows how bad ECW was in this Rumble, that Sabu brought the table out when he came out, so...
oh my god, man. Yeah, this was... By the way, he brings the table out. People went nuts for the table, man. He brings the table out, he puts it on the outside of the ring, which... Apparently he didn't place right because this was set up for the later spot. So the referees had to go and move the table when they were out of the camera shot of the table.
The thing I want to ask... By the way, I forgot to mention that Michael Cole, JBL, and Jerry the King Lawler commentated this one.
Yeah, wonderful. Foreshadowing the next fucking 3, 4, 5 years of crap.
They did really good, though. I thought they did really good.
They did good here because there wasn't any filter bullshit.
Yeah. The question I have, though, is why would he do this? I mean, I guess it's not...
I don't know.
You can... But I'm still going to ask the question. Why would you do this? Because this doesn't help. This helps the guys stay in the Rumble match. Because if they get thrown out, they can just use the table to help them stay in.
Which I have to say, by the way, and I don't know why they said he was eliminated, but Sabu was never eliminated until his feet touched the fucking floor.
That's true.
So, like...
Well, he went through... He did go through the table, though, so...
He went through the table back first. It's supposed to be feet on the floor. The floor. It's like they disregard their own rules and just like, oh, no, he's eliminated now. Fucker.
But, that table spot was really cool, though. I can't lie.
No, it was cool. I'm not denying that, but yeah, like Sabu gets buried, looks like a fucking... He looks like a geek. Dreamer looks like a geek. Everybody looks like a geek, and for no reason. Like, there was no reason these guys had to look as bad as they did here.
But yeah, Kane. I just broke down the Kane elimination spot. He also eliminated Tommy Dreamer, like we just talked about, so we don't really need to cover that. Number 11 was ECW CM Punk, who looked really strong in this match. He went...
Yeah, he was one of the few ECW guys that survived.
He actually went...
Ironically enough.
He went, hold on, I'm trying to get it. 27 minutes and 16 seconds, so he lasted a long time in this Rumble match, which was good for him. Because this was like, obviously when they were kind of screwing up with CM Punk at the time. So this was nice for CM Punk to go into the Rumble, so... Then you had SmackDown's Ken Booker, who eliminated Gregory Helms, which obviously probably made you happy.
Yay. JBL just takes the best dig at him. Bye, Gregory Helms. See you later. Continues.
I gotta admit though, some of the stuff that JBL was saying in this match was pretty funny.
Well, yes, and then there was some of the shit where it was very uncomfortably racist.
Where we're about to get... Number 13 was Monday Night Wars, super crazy, so that was probably what you're talking about, so...
I'm just gonna say what he said. He used to be my doorman.
Yep.
Fucking hell. It's like I actually start liking the guy, and then he just goes and uses a freaking racial slur and derogatory insult. I know it was 2007, but still, dude.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? And he was still doing this, by the way. Like, even when he came back.
Yeah, he was.
It was slipping through the fucking cracks. Like, the racism is just unreal, dude.
Number 14 was Monday Night Wars, Jeff Hardy. which I gotta commend the Hardys because they were and Johnny Nitro.
Yeah, yeah, agreed there.
They worked, you know, a match and then the Wumble. And then number 15 was ECW's The Sandman, which we've actually forgot to talk about the Sandman segment on the show where he took a number but didn't give a crap about what number he got. So apparently, maybe to him it really did matter because he knew he was just going to get eliminated anyway. So, but he hits the Hardys and I believe Super Crazy or Edge, I forget who. He hits. I know the Hardys got hit. I think he hit Shelton Benjamin too with the kendo stick. I don't remember exactly. But then he just got eliminated by Ken Booker and he lasted 13 seconds. So that was great. Number 14 was Monday Night Raw's Randy Orton. And he just
before we even get into what he does here, he got a massive pop, dude.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, holy hell. Like, Edge got booed heavily, like, and Orton comes out and he gets one of the biggest ovations in the entire Rumble, dude. Like, I didn't think I was gonna hear that kind of ovation. Like, I think it might have been the second biggest ovation behind the Undertaker.
Yep.
It's crazy.
He starts laying out RKOs on people. He lays out Ken Booker, Jeff Hardy with RKOs. Rated RKO work together. They eliminate.
Yeah. By the way, my boy King Booker,
Yep. They eliminate Super Crazy. Randy Orton hit a neck breaker onto, I believe Jeff Hardy too. I don't think he hit the. I know somebody he hit somebody with the RKO. So, and then I don't know. I'm sorry, James, but number 17 happens and he never comes out. I don't know what happened. Like, no music.
Oh, god damn it! Just say his name. It's Benoit. It's Benoit.
Okay.
Yeah, I know the joke, but god damn, let the meme die. I don't even like. Yeah, obviously it's fucked up what happened, but whatever. He's there. He's there. Benoit comes out. And by the way, talk about Roy de Magoo with Test.
Yeah.
And WWE says it didn't have anything to do with it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Sorry, I don't enjoy that. I don't enjoy seeing him roided up like that, by the way. Just FYI. That was disturbing to see.
He lays out some people. He was the U.S. champion representing SmackDown. He lays out some people with German suplexes. And then number 18 was ECW's Rob Van Dam, which he looked good in this Rumble, actually.
Yeah. Who was it? I'm sorry.
Rob Van Dam.
Yeah, Van Dam, yeah. Van Dam and Punk were the two guys that actually survived. Did we already pass the Sandman bit?
Yeah, we did, because we kind of...
Alright, yeah, Sandman... look. I ain't saying Sandman's the greatest worker. But, oh my god. They make him look like to be such a geek, dude.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree with that.
This was so goddamn pointless. The one good thing about his WWE CW run, I kid you not, and it was in the death point with the show, by the way, was a fatal four-way match to determine a new number one contender for the ECW title.
Yep.
It was a fatal four-way match. It was Extreme Rules. And it was him, Sabu, Dreamer, and Van Dam, and they tore the house down. And everyone loved it. So I'm like, I'm not saying he would have been able to have that kind of a clinic, but goddamn, you could have done some more shit with Sandman, dude. He hits definitely. 3 people with kendo sticks, gets tossed out of nowhere, and it's like, that's it?
Yep.
He had a kendo stick, dude. He had the Singapore cane. His trademark thing. Which lays out motherfuckers. And you were doing this for weeks where he just brutalizes people with the Sting. And then he hits 3 people with it and toss them out the ring. Holy crap, this company. Like, you can even see inklings of the nowadays product even back in 2007.
I agree with that, yeah.
It's bad. This is just so pointless, and it got no one over in the end. But anyway, yeah, sorry. I just wanted to put that out there.
He hits a kick on Ken Booker, which causes Kane to eliminate him. And Ken Booker's upset about this because this was Kim Booker's chance to win the Royal Rumble. So he goes into the ring, beats the crap out of Kane, hits the scissors kick on him, and eliminates Kane, which obviously I was fine with because that kind of set up their feud for a while. And number 19 was Monday Night Raw's Viscera. And Kim Booker and Kane is still attacking Kane as this is happening, but eventually the referees and stuff were able to separate them. And then number 20 was Monday Night Raw's Johnny Nitro, which I thought he looked really good in this Rumble. And then number 21 was ECW's Kevin Thorne. Hey, we missed an ECW guy, actually. Number 22 was ECW.
He didn't do shit. He was like Dreamer. He didn't really do much. Just don't. He did not do much here.
Are you talking about Hardcore Holly?
No, Hardcore Holly, yeah. I thought you were talking about Kevin Thorne. Like, Hardcore Holly kind of did some stuff, but like...
I was never a fan of either of them anyway, so it was like...
I could understand Hardcore Holly only just because of his name value. Like, Hardcore Holly, ECW, Hardcore Holly. It made sense. Like, I didn't complain about that too much, but... he didn't do much here, and neither did Kevin Thorne, to be honest.
He did absolutely nothing.
So two and a half people. How about that? Yeah. I'll give like Holly half a point for trying.
And then Rated RKO, I think I missed an elimination. Eliminated the Hardy Boys at some point in this Rumble, but I think we missed it.
They did. They did eliminate him.
Which I thought that made sense. I thought that would have set up a tag team title feud, which I kind of wish that did, but it didn't. But I still thought that was kind of cool because the Hardys had been in the matches already, so I thought that made sense. And then number 23 was Monday Night Raw's Shawn Michaels, which he got a massive pop because it was in San Antonio, Texas.
Of course,
yeah.
Oh yeah, so maybe Orton's biggest pop of the night then.
And he came out with the DX theme because obviously they were still supposed to be together. I kind of like that they kind of kept him coming out with the DX theme actually. So
yeah, it made sense with the story.
And he goes right after Finlay and he eliminates him. And Finlay had lasted like a half hour in the Rumble, so I thought Finlay looked really good in the Royal Rumble. And then he hits a super kick sweet chin music right onto Viscera, and like his teeth come out, which obviously it wasn't his teeth. I'm assuming he had like a mouth guard in or something, but you could just see something fly out of his mouth the second he gets super kicked. And pretty much everyone that was still in the Rumble just eliminates Viscera.
Yeah, which by the way, we gotta talk about him. I can't believe he was here in the gimmick he was in. Like, I thought the Big Daddy V gimmick started around this time, and I forgot that wasn't until later. But I just couldn't believe I saw Love Machine Viscera. It's so gross.
It is.
I always hated it.
And then you had
Viscera. I remember when they first invented Viscera. Sweet Viscera, but I always hated him. That SpongeBob skit pretty much sums up the entirety of Viscera's career.
Exactly, yeah. And then Shawn Michaels eliminated Shelton Benjamin, which I forgot to mention. Shelton Benjamin has a really cool thing in this match where he like is about to be eliminated and he's like barely like hanging onto the floor, like he's like nearly gonna get eliminated, and he's like holding his legs up and like almost on the floor. It was awesome. I don't remember if it was Benjamin or Punk, but I remember that was one of the two. And then number 17 was Monday Night Raw's Chris Masters. He did nothing in this match.
Oh my god, yeah.
Number 25 was Monday Night Raw. No, sorry, not Monday Night Raw. SmackDown's Chavo Guerrero. Number 26 was SmackDown's MVP.
Which by the way, as soon as Chavo came out, man, they all chanted Eddie.
Yep. And it's
like they still missed him heavily around this time.
Yeah, because it still wasn't long after it, so...
And of course, they were making storylines around his fucking death.
Yeah.
So, like, of course they're not going to forget about him. You're just making people grieve longer, you fucking morons. That's why people hate it.
Yep. And then MVP was ribs were all taped up from the Inferno match with Kane, which I thought that was very good, selling them the injury. even even after a month.
Yeah, yeah. Even Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy sold their injuries from earlier on in the night too, and from the weeks prior as well, actually.
And I do want to mention something too is how even though we did Chris Benoit and CM Punk went at it in this match too, which obviously is very noteworthy because we never got that match in real life. So.
Yeah, yeah.
And what also is very noteworthy too is that Chris Benoit actually eliminates Johnny Nitro from this match, obviously, because that's very noteworthy because in real life Johnny Nitro took his place in the ECW Championship match. So
yeah.
And I believe he also eliminated Kevin Thorne, which whatever.
No cares.
I really didn't care about that. So number 27 was Monday Night Raw's Carlito, which I thought face Carlito on this time was awesome. So.
Yeah, and then then Flair just flat out went and buried him.
That was awesome too, though. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Number 28 was the Great Khali. Monday Night Raw is the Great Khali.
Was he Raw?
Yeah, he was Raw. I think he just went to Raw when this Royal Rumble happened. So, so the Great Khali was clearly there just to clean up the win. He eliminates CM Punk, Carlito, MVP, not Chris Masters, RVD, Chris Benoit.
Yep.
And I think that's it. I might have missed somebody.
And then Taker, yeah. Oh wait, no.
Then number 29 was SmackDown's The Miz, and let's get back to that conversation. Like we said, a lot of people don't think Miz paid his dues. Look at what The Miz was like in 2007. Like, he was a geek in 2007. He was a goof.
He was made to be a goof, and he turned into a legitimate star, dude. Like,
yeah.
All the props to him. I've given him shit in the past, too, and, after he's kept proving people wrong, each and every gimmick he's ever run with, and,
yeah.
You
and Chris talk about how, Miz hasn't had to pay his dues. Go watch The Miz back in 2007, and you'll say otherwise.
No, yeah, after seeing this, man, I like The Miz better now than I did back then, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. This guy looked like a geek.
I want to, and he gets eliminated in 7 seconds, too.
Yeah.
You know what the funny thing is, though? He did make the final 6 of the Royal Rumble. Mainly because he wasn't in the match until,
the very last. Yeah. So, he almost made the final 5. Oof. Oofa.
And then number 30 was SmackDown's The Undertaker. And then at this point, it was the final 5. It was the Great Khali, MVP, Undertaker. No, actually, no. He wasn't. Miz actually wasn't the final 6 because Rated RKO was still in the match. So
yeah. So it was the final 10. He was in the final 10.
Yeah. And Undertaker cleans house on Great Khali. He eliminates him, which Khali messed up taking because he
can't wrestle.
Yeah. And then the Undertaker just cleans house. He hits an old school on MVP and eliminates MVP. And he starts taking out Rated RKO. And MVP grabs a chair. And obviously this was referenced in Survivor Series 2006 when he cost him the first blood match with Kennedy. Which obviously, like I said, storyline continuity. And Randy Orton instead grabs a chair and hits Undertaker right off the skull with it. And this ends up busting the Undertaker open. And Edge decides, and I believe too, Shawn Michaels was out for a while because Great Khali had hit that double choke bomb on him, so he was out of the match for a while. But he rolled underneath the bottom rope. Then Randy Orton hit the RKO on him, and then he rolled underneath the bottom rope. And since he rolled underneath the bottom rope, he's not eliminated. And Edge went for the spear on Orton. But Orton threatened to hit him with a chair, and Randy Orton was like, "What are you gonna do? I got the chair," and he wants to know what he's gonna do. And then Edge is talking him out of it, and says that we can work together to take out the Undertaker, and he forgets about Shawn Michaels, and then we can fight each other. So they choose to work together. Undertaker does well for a while. He goes for a double choke slam, but they fight out of it, and then he hits a flying clothesline on him, and then he goes for a choke slam on Orton, but Edge spears him. But this was the final 4, by the way. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, this is the final 4. Was Rated RKO, HBK, and Undertaker.
Which obviously, I would say maybe up until last year's Rumble, maybe this was probably one of the best Final 4s in a Royal Rumble.
Oh yeah, nah, by far this is one of the very best Final 4s.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
And then Rated RKO go to do the concerto to the Undertaker, And then Shawn Michaels comes in, eliminates Randy Orton, and then Edge goes to hit him with the chair. Michaels ducks and hits the Sweet Chin Music, eliminating Edge. Then we're down to the last two men, Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, two of the hometown boys. This might have been the best two last Royal Rumble
entrance of all time, yeah.
Maybe up until this year, obviously, because, this year kind of maybe meant a lot more because, obviously, for different circumstances. But this was, like, a great final two.
No, this was a better final two. I'll tell you why. The right guy won, and he ended up winning the title.
Yeah, I would agree with that, yeah.
And unlike last year's, where the right guy won, but he didn't win the title. So...
Yeah. And probably is leaving this year, too.
Is he?
I would imagine, yeah. He's just dropped the U.S. belts, and his contract's up in February, so I don't think he's resigning.
Oh, shit.
I don't think he's resigning, but...
I did not know this. I really did not know that. Okay. Well, AEW for Shinsuke Nakamura? I think so.
But anyhow, I even like, too, Shawn Michaels does the kick-up, and Undertaker sits up, and they just go at it, like, they go after punches, and I even like the spot where, like, Shawn Michaels has the chance to use a chair, but he's just like, screw this, we're just gonna fight this like men. He just throws the chair, and I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, I really built Shawn Michaels' babyface character really much, and like because old Shawn Michaels would have used the chair all day long.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And now it's like Shawn Michaels and Taker were the two best. And this is like the trilogy of like the next 4 years of these two just battling each other, dude.
Yeah.
Like this was the starting point of that little feud, really.
I think so. I don't even think the WWE knew they were going there yet, but this was like
definitely the starting point, whether they knew it or not. Like this. Yeah. This got so over, dude. It was massively because not only did they fight here, but they would fight in 2008. Where they were number 1 and 2. Yeah. So the ones who ended it started it, and then Mania's 25 and 26 happened.
Yep.
And then Greatest Royal Rumble happened.
Let's pretend that didn't happen though.
Yeah.
Hard to do. But this match was a clinic.
It was, yeah. No, this final two was unbelievable. Yeah. And like it reminded me of like the good old times where like wrestling was exciting, and like I remember like when I was a kid watching this, like just seeing like I felt that same excitement that I felt back then.
Oh, it was awesome.
It was I felt that same thing. Like this was amazing. Like the ending of this and the way they built these stars up, like to make them look like freaking madmen, dude. In the final minutes of this match, it was really well done. Yeah, this is probably the best final two in history. Honestly, I don't think anything can top this.
Yeah, exactly. So Shawn Michaels hits the elbow drop. They try to eliminate each other a ton of times, which I obviously like. I thought was very good psychology. Where like you think they were going to eliminate each other and then they didn't. Undertaker like hit a chokeslam on Michaels, and the air that he got on Shawn Michaels was just intense. That was awesome. Like, and then Shawn Michaels hits the Sweet Chin Music on him, and he goes for a second one. I even love this finish, but Undertaker like powers Shawn Michaels and reverses it and throws him out of the Rumble. Like, even though Shawn Michaels lost, like it's not like he took a finish or anything. Like he just barely lost the Rumble. Like like it could have gone.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels came out of this looking super strong too, and that's why he also got a championship match at Mania too. You know what I mean? So like this looked awesome. Although if they were gonna go that route, it should have just been Michaels winning the Rumble, so that way you get the main event.
I think this worked too. This either way.
Well then, yeah, but they should have had Taker win the main event then. Like they shouldn't have had him third to last. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
I thought that was stupid. I still think that's stupid to this day.
But I would say, though, if you would ask me, I think the right guy obviously won the Royal Rumble just because, obviously, Undertaker, too, had, like, done everything there was to do in WWE except win a Royal Rumble, so that just ticked, like, his bucket list off. If he has a bucket list, probably not, but...
probably don't even give a shit. He's like, I'm Taker, look at me. I can shoot lightnings out of my hands.
But I thought it was absolutely the right decision because obviously there was a lot of possibilities with the Undertaker because a lot of the matches that he could have had were very intriguing. Even like Bobby Lashley would have been an intriguing match at WrestleMania too. But obviously, you knew Undertaker unfortunately wasn't going to go for the ECW. Picture it too, like how much. I want to tell you to take a look at the three options real quick. What if Undertaker did choose the ECW title? That would have like really rebuilt.
That would have saved the ECW if they did that. I mean, definitely. I mean, it's the Undertaker going for the title.
Yeah.
Like,
but
then that's demoting Taker because you know they weren't going to take it seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
And Taker knew that too, so like, why bother?
And I feel like Lashley wasn't ready for that spot to face Taker yet anyway, so that wouldn't have really worked. So
yeah, no, it was far from it.
But picture this too, like even though like we got the match last year, the one match everybody wanted at WrestleMania was John Cena versus The Undertaker. This could have been the perfect moment to do John Cena versus The Undertaker. It was right here, 2007. John Cena obviously was the WWE champion, and obviously too it would have closed the show too. And if you wanted to know what you could have done with Batista, I feel like Shawn Michaels and Batista would have been a quality program for the World Heavyweight Championship as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, their 2008 feud and Backlash serves as that reminder.
Yeah, exactly. So you could have gone with that option as well. But I feel like the options that they went with were really quality options. Undertaker versus Batista was probably the best year, the best feud of 2007.
Yeah. This is an awesome feud. Honestly, it would probably be the better option to go with Batista regardless, just because the feud was so damn good.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Obviously, like, Undertaker would win the title at WrestleMania, and then obviously they would just put on clinics with the Last Man Standing match, the Steel Cage match, and then obviously the Cyber Sunday match, which I've never seen, but I heard that's a classic as well.
It's a huge classic, yeah.
And then they had that great Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, they revived the crowd after they were dead after the ECW bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. And then obviously you have Shawn Michaels though, which obviously I think this became tradition. Like normally the runner-up would go after the other world championship, which obviously was John Cena, and obviously they had a classic at WrestleMania.
And then a classic on Raw, like in London.
I think that one match of the year in somewhere. I don't think it was.
I think it was Wrestling Observer 2007. It was the match of the year.
Yeah,
I think it was.
And
it might have been. I could be wrong, but.
And think about it too. This was like when 2007 John Cena, where he didn't have he had a very limited moveset at the time, and he was putting on a classic with Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, no, this was a classic. Like his matches with Shawn Michaels are classics, but a lot of people attribute that to Shawn Michaels, and there's a good reason for that because
John Cena held his own too, though I would say.
Well, I mean, Shawn Michaels knew what spots Cena could do.
Yeah.
I think Shawn was able to push him to be a better competitor because I don't think Cena realized he could do more.
Yeah, exactly. I mean?
Also, the weirdest thing was Cena, and I still wonder this: was Cena going through some weird depression phase at this time or something? Am I the only one that thought this? Because, anytime he would come out, since the ECW One Night Stand 06, he just had this doldrums look on his face most of the time. And then other times he would be, super duper, John Cena we know. But then, other times, especially pay-per-views, he was just had this serious looking face all the time and just walked to the ring, didn't even do the run. And I was like... Is he alright?
Yeah, maybe. That's a good question.
I don't know if anyone's ever asked that because it's just I look at Cena then, and then I look at Cena later on, 2009 Cena, and Cena looks like he was having the time of his life in 09 compared to, 07. He looked miserable for some reason. Am I the only one that thought that?
I would have to watch this the show back and.
Yeah, watch the show back. You'll just see John Cena just has this, always serious face. Look up every single pay-per-view after One Night Stand. Every single pay-per-view we just had. Every single pay-per-view. He was just looking down in the dumps. I don't know what it was, but like he always, even in Unforgiven 2006, he had that same reaction. Granted, he was in a town that hated him, but still,
Yeah.
like he was like hated. I don't know what it was.
And then obviously too, even though they didn't know it, the Final Four, they focused the whole year of 2007 around the Final Four, because obviously Edge and Taker, even though it didn't happen in 2007, started in 2007, and he won the world title with the Money in the Bank. Was obviously they didn't know that was going to happen because obviously Kennedy's injury had to have Edge win the Money in the Bank, but I still thought that was awesome. Randy Orton had a great 2007 with taking out Shawn Michaels and just taking everybody out, winning the WWE Championship. I feel like this Royal Rumble just set up a lot of stars that year. So, if you were to ask me like what I would rate this Royal Rumble, I would give it easily 4 3/4 stars. It's probably one of the best Royal Rumbles I've ever seen. So,
I agreed.
And then obviously,
when they were actually building stars, and
they
were slowly not at the same time.
As for where everybody else won the Rumble, Ric Flair retired honestly the next year from WWE, anyways. Finley. Funny thing is Finley. If they brought Finley back as the prize entered, I honestly would smoke out because it's been. Because that would be pretty cool if they brought Finley back for a Royal Rumble. He's an agent backstage. Kenny Dykstra. He was working the Indies. I read online the most recent show he was on was an ROH show actually.
Yeah, he's been making the rounds.
Obviously, we know what Matt Hardy is. He obviously him and Jeff had one final one with the tag titles before they split, and Matt Hardy did his thing with the U.S. title, the ECW title, and then turned heel, and then obviously left, and then obviously he had a downward spiral for a while, and then obviously did the broken stuff, and then he came back and had one final one with the Hardys, and then obviously is retired, but we don't really know that yet. Obviously, I already kind of mentioned Edge. Tommy Dreamer. It's actually going to be working a top rope show in New Bedford, but I'm not going to New Bedford to watch that. So, Sabu is, I think, retired, but it says, if you go on Wikipedia, it says that he's working Indies, but I think he's retired. Gregory Helms apparently wants to start stuff with James. That's where he is, so, yeah. Actually, I read online, he apparently signed
bitch.
You're going to see him a lot in ROH because he signed a contract in April 2018, so you've been probably seeing a lot of him.
Shocker, he signed with the, not that I hate ROH, but it's like, God damn it.
Shelton Benjamin is, ironically enough, for some weird reason, he was released in 2010. I never understand why. I'm going to guess he asked to be released because it doesn't make any sense that they would just randomly...
Yeah, no, he asked. He asked.
And then he went and did his things in New Japan and ROH, and then came back and should have stayed in New Japan and ROH.
Yeah. Not even a joke.
Kane is Kane. That's all I need to
He's a mayor. He's a mayor now.
Yeah, he's Kane. CM Punk, ironically enough, the CM Punk you see in this Rumble and the CM Punk today are complete. You never would have guessed the stuff that happened with CM Punk would have happened. So that's both good and bad things. So I feel like the CM Punk from 2007 is a completely different person. Like, if you probably put like a picture of CM Punk, from back then and now, I don't think people would believe it's the same person. And if I had gone to like people that were wrestling fans in 2007 and asked like about CM Punk's career with the pipe bomb, winning the WWE Championship, having the best match with John Cena, but then obviously all the bad things they did with them, not the staph infection stuff, not accounting his dates, not letting him take time off, him going to the UFC, people would have called me crazy.
Yep.
They still do, but that's a different reason.
God damn it.
And then Ken Booker. Actually, you know what's ironic? Ken Booker was out of the company after this year too. Actually.
Yep.
And then obviously he went and did his thing in TNA, and then I think realized that WWE should have stayed all along. So, and then obviously he's pretty much retired now in a crappy panel panelist and a crappy commentator.
People like him.
I don't know why, but they do.
Shucky ducky, quack quack. That's probably why, to be honest.
And when he called out JBL for stealing that too, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Super Crazy is working indies. Was he out of the company shortly after this, or was he still? I thought so. Jeff Hardy.
Taker's still wrestling. Why?
Taker's still, yeah. Why? Even though he lost his streak, and he really should have stopped after he lost his streak. But
yeah.
Jeff Hardy, kind of, ironically enough, won the WWE title. He walked in 2009 with the WWE title. He wanted it again in 2008 because he was supposed to win it earlier, but then obviously he messed up again. And then stupidly left and pretty much went into a downward spiral. Did his thing in TNA. And then he pretty much has the same career path as Matt Hardy, except he's still wrestling right now. So, except he was like a world champion in TNA, and he probably messed up more in TNA than, Matt Hardy did, because Jeff Hardy screwed up on a,
Victory Road. Yeah.
The Sandman. He said if
he got arrested and got released shortly after, and Sandman's just not wrestling anymore.
I read online that he was actually working for TNA in like 2010, but then no showed like afterwards. So.
Well, no, they said he couldn't wrestle, so don't bother showing up. Just hype up the show. That's pretty much it.
Randy Orton's still there today, and he likes to whip Jeff Hardy's ears off. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I shouldn't say he likes to try to whip Jeff Hardy's ears off, because you can only whip his. I feel like he doesn't want to whip it off because then he can't attempt anymore. So I'm not mentioning what Chris Benoit is today. I mean, just look that up for yourself.
Yeah.
Rob Van Dam, he was gone after this too.
Twice.
Yeah.
Because he came back and then left again. Because Pot had a bigger priority. Yeah,
apparently. But I did like. I thought RVD had a fine one when he.
Yeah.
Viscera, unfortunately, has passed away. He was Big Daddy V, like we said.
Yep. Umaga passed away. Tess passed away. Freaking a lot of people passed away. I feel like on this show, too many. 4 is too many.
Yeah, the show. I think I did say the show holds up well today, but when you talk about where everybody is today, it's kind of a depressing.
Nope. Yeah. Well, I mean, Johnny Nitro's in TNA. Like, he's like the face of that company now.
Yeah.
And he's like the face of Lucha Underground in a way too.
Oh, he's still in Lucha Underground?
Yeah, I mean, if they have another season.
Kevin Thorne. Where's Kevin Thorne? I couldn't find where Kevin Thorne was.
Probably retired. Who cares?
Ironically enough, he was out of the company after this too. I remember this too. Like, he came back like as somebody else, and he had like one match and was gone right afterwards. Like he came back with like a shaved head and was not a vampire one day. I feel like that happened. I know that happened.
Yeah, it did happen.
Hardcore Holly, he wasn't gone afterwards, but he went to Raw. So, because he was like, screw ECW, I'm going to Raw.
Yeah.
And he actually did fairly fine on Raw. He was the World Tag Team Champion for a little while. And then he was supposed to be in TNA, but then they decided to, apparently August 1-1, it was Tito Ortiz instead, so. Shawn Michaels,
Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
He wrestled too.
Yeah.
He came out of retirement. God damn it.
He still looked good. He looked good in his retirement. He still looked fine actually. It just like the show. If you would have asked me though, like maybe 3 years ago, if Shawn Michaels' retirement, because it was kind of a bust, not because I feel like it wasn't even their fault, like his fault it was a bust. It was the real life situation and the company's fault that it was a bust. But Chris Masters is I think doing indies. He was in TNA for a while, but I know he's not.
Yeah, he's Chris Adonis now.
Chavo Guerrero is in Lucha Underground. He's like the producer of Lucha Underground too.
Yes, he is.
MVP is apparently can't stay Actually, it's kind of sad to see where MVP ended up because they had big plans for him, and then obviously no. He was a 2-time United States champion. So Carlito, I'm not as depressed to see where Carlito ended up because
well, Carlito's doing well for himself anyway.
Yeah, the great Khali. I'm glad he's out of the company. That's all I'm gonna say about that. You never would have thought, but the great Khali, they put the world champ. It's like I never would have thought they would have put the world title on Khali. So.
Yep, they did.
And that all had to do with Edge's injury, of course. That was like the worst time for Edge to get injured too.
Yep.
And then we just kind of mentioned with The Miz and The Undertaker. So, now we gotta do letter grade for this show, which we have to. Obviously, the letter grade is from F to an A. I don't need to explain what each grade means because if you've been
A minus for me.
I would agree with that. A minus. I think this show holds up very well today.
Even the ECW title match can't really ruin this show for me.
No, this is a very quality Rumble to go back and watch. When you talk about though, like where everybody is today, it makes you a little sad because it's ironic, like some of these guys are dead or were out of the company shortly afterwards. But it's still a very pleasant show to watch. And I feel like too, like 2007. Wouldn't have been as bad of a year for WWE if it was not for that Chris Benoit, thing. Because I feel like 2007 would have been a better year if it had not been for that.
Yeah, true. I agree with that. Although a lot of that was on them too, because steroids, they let them back in.
Yeah.
Idiots. So.
But I feel like the biggest one was the Chris Benoit tragedy.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just saying the steroids didn't help because that's what everybody accused them of because everybody was on it.
But I would say this show still holds up well. I feel like they picked a good show because this is a show too that's not too old and not too new. It's like in the middle. So
yeah. And
but now
it's very in the middle because then you see what they were doing with ECW and it's what they do to the main roster nowadays.
Yeah, so if you want to know what the main roster is like nowadays, just watch ECW back then.
That's basically it.
I wonder if like the people that wrote ECW just were like, "Hey, come to work for the main roster now. Make this crappy."
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering too. To be honest. Sweet Christ.
But now, let's get to the happy moment. Now you get to pick the next show that we review.
Royal Rumble 2002.
Okay.
No, not 2002. I meant 2003.
Oh, you can't. No, me and John already did that. You can't do 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then 2002.
2002, which has but that's we'll see how that.
Wait, have we done 01 yet?
No, we did not.
We're doing 01 then. Fuck 02. 01 all day. 2001. WWF at its highest point, dude. Royal Rumble 2001.
You know what the funny thing is? I want to say one thing real quick. 2007 and 2001 are a lot alike because you never would have thought like the companies would have, because it's like the companies had like the worst years for different reasons in a way. So, and let's see if that one holds up well today too. So we're gonna do Royal
WWF Royal Rumble 01 is awesome. What are you talking about? It's great. It's the best Rumble ever. Rumble match anyway. That's the one with Drew Carey showed up, but that's also the one where Kane eliminated like 11 people using like a bunch of weapons and shit. It's great.
I did see the match, but not the whole show. So we'll definitely give that a watch.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's a very good show.
Yep. All right, but that's pretty much the end of this video. I don't know when that will be up. I want to try to have because we have to do 2 of these a week. One of the weeks because. We missed a week because we did this on a Sunday and this is a new week, so we will try. So we will try to have. Obviously, it's whenever because it has to be whenever you're free now because you have to be on next week. So.
Well, I'll be on next week because I don't have school until the end of the month. So.
Well, I'm sorry, not next week. This week. So we'll find a time to make that happen.
We could do it Tuesday. We can do it to a day. Do it to a day.
I should have it watched by. Actually, because I'm going to be on NXT podium, and I have to be caught up on NXT UK by then. So
Oh, okay.
maybe
Thursday.
how about Wednesday? Because I have to stay up all night. I have to stay up really late. Because you know how that works. You have to stay up really late for that show. So.
Oh yeah, that works. Wednesday it is then.
All right, we'll do Wednesday.
All right.
All right. So this is pretty much the end of the video. Now you can plug your. I feel like this video ended up not being that bad once we got it going. So.
Yeah, finally. Yeah, it's fucking OBS. Well, luckily we shouldn't have this problem again. Now that I took your thing off private.
It was OBS and Owen Finch.
Yes. So, guys, you can check out my stuff. It's in the description. I made sure it was in here before we started. J Hebert Side 95 is my main channel. I posted about the whole KSI Deji beef. That's so stupid. But yeah, you can check that out if you want. And you can check out the Gold Rush mega event on the WIW channel, which is youtube.com/user/WIW Pride. Also, follow me on Twitter at JHebertSide95. Which, by the way, next mega event for WIW, Owen Finch will be on. And Chris Dodd will be on. And Jonathan Tuddy, a.k.a. Jonathan Brady, on the show will be on. So, you should totally watch.
Totally gotta watch that. Yeah, I gotta watch our appearances on it.
Yeah. So, yeah, there we go, guys.
And then, obviously, you can check out all my stuff, Owen the Talkinator, CM Brothers, and obviously this channel, everything that I do on here.
Yeah, all that's in the description, guys. It's
yeah.
Right down there.
Alright, so we'll talk to you later.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.